share. Okay, so thank you for coming in. My name is Dr. Vincent Esposito. So I'm a chiropractor, nutritionist. If you're already familiar kind of with what I do, I'm really into regenerative health, detoxification, and really ultimately getting people to realize that they're their own best healers. And I do that using a lot of whole food, plant-based nutrition, a lot of different herbs, and a bunch of different kind of protocols, especially in person. And one of the things that I'm excited to share with you today, and really the focus of today's call is going to be about not only your physical health, but also financial well-being. And I will say, kind of through my experience as a practitioner, as I've kind of navigated through learning from different detoxification specialists, so like Bernard Jensen and his daughter-in-law, like Robert Morris, is that utilizing kind of what nature already has in its most unaltered state is honestly the best way to go. And I found kind of over my career is finding companies that align with that. And not only that, are taking it a step further now when we're talking about how these things are cultivated, how they're brought in, how the plants are raised, especially in today's world where we're having a lot of different pesticides and herbicides used on our food and our regular food supply. We're seeing a trend in our health as human beings falter in a way that we've never seen before. At the same time, we're also seeing the health of human beings kind of coincide with it. And over my career, I've tried to find companies that understand the importance of soil health, that understand the importance of how we treat the planet is going to affect not only our long-term prospects as human beings, but also our health right now. So there's a micro and a macro component to it. And I was lucky enough recently to come into contact with a few people who share those same values, who have been working with companies who understand the importance of soil health, who understand the importance of regenerative agriculture, and understand the importance of using whole herbs, using superfoods in their most unaltered, nutrient-dense state in a way to not only really help other people, but also help take care of our planet long-term. And I can speak from my own experience that since I've been starting to use these protocols in my own practice, I've seen people really start to take on their treatments and start regenerating at a rate faster than before. And I truly believe it's because we're using herbs and foods that are coming from a more nutrient-dense place. And when, we're taking the best of the best, the most high caliber nutrition, and then we're using it in a way our bodies can kind of take in and utilize more efficiently, we get better outcomes. And for you, I think this is really important because this is now an opportunity to support folks who are doing it the right way, who are understanding both the micro at the individual level, but also the macro as the health of the planet long term. And these things are not different. They're not separate. And it also, I think, from a financial standpoint, could be a place where you can really bring in and really hone in and start utilizing something that can not only be beneficial to you, maybe beneficial to your patients, to your clients, but also spread the message that if we support those and vote with our dollars for those who are supporting the well-being of the planet and human beings in general, that's going to be reciprocated long-term. So I do think that opportunity is really important, and I want to share. I have a few people with me. I have Carrie and Karri here to talk about kind of their journeys using these superfoods, both in their practices, they're regenerative healers themselves. So I'll step out of the way. I'll kind of pass it over to them, and they can kind of discuss a little bit about what this opportunity is.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Carrie Drinkwine. Thanks for having me, and thanks for taking the time to be here. I'm a regenerative health practitioner and the owner of Wise Wellness Clinic, as well as the Institute of Regenerative Health. And what I do is really train and certify regenerative health practitioners. And very similar to the work that Dr. Vincent is doing is really sharing that there's another way to repair your body at the cellular level. And so what I want to share with you is I do come from the background of regenerative detoxification because of my own issues. I actually had lupus, Hashimoto, and fibromyalgia. And Carrie Tidwell, that's on this call, actually was the person that introduced me to this field, that really helped me reverse chronic illness naturally through the art of regenerative detoxification, working with plant foods and herbs. And it really spiraled this huge passion within me to teach people that there's another way. I was like, why does everybody not know that there is another way? There's another option for you. And so I went to school to learn everything I could in this field, and then very slowly just started getting the word out, and eventually opened my practice. And now I own a whole clinic and a school teaching the world how to do this in another way. But I want to share a little personal story. So number one, I reversed my autoimmune naturally through herbal protocols and fruits and veggies, which was amazing. However, I will say that I had no autoimmune or inflammatory conditions in my body. I was able to get heavy metals out and all the things that were causing disruptive patterns in the body and obstruction. But I will say that I felt depleted. I felt depleted during that process, and I felt depleted post that process. And when I was 7 months postpartum with my daughter, Mila, I started to experience all of the common but not normal symptoms of hair loss, skin fatigue, postpartum blues, which I knew is just simply calcium depletion. Postpartum depletion is really what creates a lot of our depression and anxiety and depletion postpartum. And so I started to really look into like, what is it that I'm missing? Like, I don't really understand. I'm eating all fruits and vegetables. I'm eating all organic. I'm juicing even. And this is when I really found the work of Dr. Zach Bush, and I learned that less than 1% of the United States soil was deemed nutrient dense. And that was really like shattering to me, because I, as a practitioner, had been teaching everyone just eat organic whole foods. That's the answer. And when you focus on that, and you do see all the inflammation come down and so many things clean up, but that actually isn't enough of what we need, because our soil is so depleted. And that doesn't mean you're not going to find the answer in animal consumption per se, because the animals are eating the same plants. So what we're actually dealing with right now is that 75% of even our air, food, and rainwater is covered in a toxic chemical called glyphosate. Glyphosate is highly neurotoxic. It's a class 1 carcinogen. It is actually patented as an oral antibiotic, and it's directly connected to diseases like ADHD, autism, Alzheimer's, dementia, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma has been directly correlated with the consumption of glyphosate. And so we really do have a big issue. It's not only causing these issues in the human body, it breaks the tight junctions in the gut lining, but it's also causing issues in our plant kingdom. It's blocking what's called the shikimate pathway in plants, and then our essential amino acid pathway that the plants can't actually fold their essential proteins. They're called essential because it means the body must obtain them from plant source. So with that said, that gives you a little bit of a window into why we're talking to you today about the superfoods that Dr. Vincent is explaining, and the different kind of pathways we've kind of merged together as a holistic community to bring more solutions to people. So as I realized we needed supplementation, I went from a no supplementation standpoint to, oh my gosh, we need supplementation. That's when I began my search for a high caliber, high quality, regeneratively grown plants, I should say, that can actually get the micronutrients that we need, the amino acids that we need, be certified glyphosate, certified organic, glyphosate free, certified kosher. And it took me a long time to find it. But I did find this company, and actually another detox specialist brought this to my attention. Her name's Rita Jean. And she's certified in permaculture and all sorts of different great things. And she introduced the company Purium to me, which represents purity and premium. And at first glance, I could not find anything wrong with it. I tried, really, because I was just kind of skeptical. And I was really blown away by their transparency, their farming practices, the purity of their ingredients. They're actually growing their foods in a regenerative way. And I was really seeking a solution for myself. It was slightly selfish at the time. I was dealing with all that postpartum depletion. And another little tidbit about that time in my life is I was working way too much. I was working 70 hours a week. I was a solo practitioner. I was a mama of a 7-month-old and 3 other kids in the household as well. And I was working constantly and teaching people that suffering was optional. And then I was suffering on the emotional standpoint and the physical because I was overworked, exhausted, and undernourished. So I actually took a massive leap of faith when I decided to invest in trying out Purium for my own body. And I really thought, if this works for me, then sure, I'll put some on my shelves here at the clinic. And so I purchased my first kit, and I will tell you, within 3 days, I felt like the lights came on in my body. It was like brain cognition, 3 p.m., no 3 p.m. energy slump, like sleeping really good through the night. My gut was better than it had ever been. And I did 2 years of pretty rigorous cleansing. And so I was pretty blown away of, the quality and the purity and like how I was feeling just by adding this in, because I personally didn't actually change my diet. I stayed the same. And then I just added these superfoods into my life, and it was like night and day difference. So within a short period of time, I really realized that this was something very special, and it was helping all of my patients transition from a SAD diet, a standard American diet, over into a more holistic, whole food and or plant-focused diet with total ease. It was just a very easy transition for them. And that's also what Dr. Vincent's experiencing with his patients, is helping people, transition into this. They're like, wow, I feel really good. Wow, this is really easy. So the simplicity is amazing, but really we're here today to talk about our mission. And our mission as a whole, mine transformed so much. It went from kind of personal use to, wow, this is going to serve my community, to, wow, this is going to serve the world and change the world on such a different level. Like, we want to put money into the hands of the right people. And Purium is a company that's owned by 2 people, Dave Sandoval and Amy Venner. And they are really pioneers in this field. Dave saw overtoxicity and undernourishment as one of our main issues in the world, and really wanted to get this information out, that we needed to get glyphosate out of the bodies, and we needed to get the right level of micronutrients in so the body can self-repair. And so this company has been farming for over 28 years, selling wheatgrass juice shots and our kamut blends. And now our most popular products are our regeneratively grown power shakes and Epigenius family and so on. So they have transitioned as a company to actually move out of just being in little pop-ups and on Amazon, on Whole Foods. And they started to realize that we had a big mission. Number one is Dave wanted to prevent overtoxicity and undernourishment. Number 2, he believes that illness is multifaceted, that there's physical illness and there's also financial illness. And 80% of Americans are living within $400 of devastation. If one thing goes wrong, it's more than $400, it will collapse their financial wellness for a while. And so he realized that this was a solution that we needed to the community. And then their third pillar is planetary health, planetary wellness. So we are 100% plastic-free company, all compostable, biodegradable packaging that was engineered by the owners to leave as light as possible of a carbon footprint, because he believes we can't regenerate the people and the land and then dump thousands of pounds of plastic into the earth. So this is a highly conscious company that has decided to leverage an affiliate market to say, you know what, we're going to take it off of Amazon. We're going to take it out of the people that are poisoning our air and our food and our water systems. And we're going to put it into the hands of the people, into the hands of the stay-at-home moms or the dads that want extra money, or the practitioners that are working themselves to the bone, right? And really work smarter, not harder. So Dr. Vincent, Carrie, Tidwell, myself, and multitude of other practitioners have linked arms to share these modalities with our clientele, to share these modalities with our people that want to just be able to afford it for themselves and their families, and to really share the heart and the mission of this company and the quality and why we are different. So with that said, I want to segue into just a tiny bit about why is this different? Why is it different than other companies? Because the nutrition industry, the supplemental industry, is actually a $38 billion per year industry. And that is because there are just massive amounts of bogus marketing out there, and synthetic products, and products filled with heavy metals and pesticides. And most of the time, sadly enough, you can read a label that says it's organic, but organic and tested are very different things. Mamavation has done a lot of really great work with this, and the Detox Project, and they actually started to test protein powders and companies that were claiming to be certified organic, raw, kosher, all these different things. And 99% of them failed the test. Were found with glyphosate, they were found with lead, they were found with like the pea protein was corrupted and even had milk products and all kinds of different things that was not advertised on the label, but was still certified organic. One of your most popular brands that you'll hear of was Orgain, was the dirtiest. The dirtiest protein powder that is certified organic and supposed to be raw vegan, was not vegan or organic or any of the things above. And so what is different about Purium is this is a company that cares. This is a company that had their farming before their business, right? They were really like, here's my passion. Now let me figure out how to get this out into the world. And they have chosen their farms very selectively. Our main farm is in Utah. It's in between mountains, and all the minerals run off the mountains and really come into this landscape where they're farming holistically and regeneratively grown practices, which means they're using all heirloom seeds. They're using spring water so that the soil is remineralized. They're using a process called triple cross sow, which really helps the roots of the plants pull up as much nutrients as possible from the soil. They use green manure to really compost into the soils that we're recycling and bringing more mineralization back. And then they also do everything. Nothing is picked until the moment it is vine ripened. This is the power of this. So even when you go to your organic co-op, which is local and organic, you will still find a rock hard avocado or unripe tomatoes or a hard pear, right? And this is because they have to pick the fruits and vegetables early to make it to a refrigerator truck, to make it to the back of a warehouse, to make it to the store, to make it to your fridge, to your table without going bad. So all fruits and vegetables get picked a couple weeks unripe early. I like to give the example of taking the baby out of the womb with the mother. Once you cut that cord, the nutrition connection has stopped. Now the baby needs an external source. Well, our plants don't get an external source. Once that pull off the vine, the nutrient content has stopped. And from that point forward, the plant is actually in a process of fermentation, not ripening. And so we have a significant decline in nutrient density in our food just because of our population and where we are and how we have to farm things. Ideally, like Carrie said, well, we'll probably share with you if she does have time to share, is like we would love for everybody to grow their own food in their backyard. But is that realistic? It's not for me. I'm a multi-business owner and a mother of 4 children. I absolutely can't grow my own food. And also I live in the city where there's not a lot of space. So we wanted a practical solution for people to be able to get high quality, nutrient dense food into their systems quickly and easily. And that really is what this is. So Purium does everything in this regenerative process. And they also don't pick it until it's vine ripened, and then it's dried in the wind at 88 degrees or less in these 80-foot dehydrators. It's phenomenal. They dry it on site. And then Purium trucks come to pick everything up, and then they are triple tested by an in-house microbiologist that actually runs everything through to make sure there's no cross-contamination, no pollutants, no anything. And our farms are about 150-ish, 120 to 150 miles away from any other industrialization. So they're not dealing with crop blow over. They're not dealing with, planes that are spraying glyphosate in the air, it's making onto their crop. None of that exists because of the way they've selectively chosen their land and their farms. And so this is just the highest quality you can get. And the last thing I'll share is that Dave Sandoval is actually the person that helped lobby for the USDA organic label, because he was farming 30 years ago when it was just natural. Everything was labeled natural, and that could mean a multitude of things. And so really this company is like paving the way in regenerative farming. and redistributing the wealth back into the hands of the people. So I'll share one last thing about how this transformed my life so dramatically. I went from being a 70-hour-a-week practitioner, carrying a massive amount of mom guilt. I was stressed all the time, to having a team, to having hundreds of voices, dozens of voices it started with, and now it's hundreds of voices out there sharing this wisdom. Everyone from stay-at-home moms that have no nutrition background to partnering with chiropractors to acupuncturists and beyond. And we have a ton of detox specialists on our team. And we just share this information, and many hands always make light work. And what has happened since that day is within 5 months in the company, I matched my clinic income, which was crazy because it took me years to build my clinic income, right? Years and years and years. And within 5 months with many hands, I matched it. And then within a year, I doubled it. And within 2 years, I quadrupled it. And now I've been able to take the income that I was able to leverage from partnering with Purium, and I was able to open my own school with that financial capital. I was able to fund recording and all of the copyright and everything that we had to go through, this massive financial undertaking to open a school and the licensing process and all of it. And Purium paid for it all. And now I have a school sharing regenerative health with the whole world because of what this company was able to do. So since that time, I've been able to more than 10x my income and move from a 5-figure to a 7-figure business. And so I share that because this can be anybody's story. One of my most successful partners on my team is a wedding planner and knows nothing about nutrition. And she has just broken through the 6-figure threshold in less than 2 years. And so we are here to help people out of physical illness and physical imbalance, but also to really become an end to a means financially for people. So not only if it's your goal is just to afford your own products, right? Maybe it's just, I want to make $500 a month to pay for my own stuff. That's not how much it is per month. That's more than enough. But anywhere in between, if you're interested in linking arms with us, we are really looking to, Dr. Vincent and Carrie and I are really looking to create a community that are heart-centered individuals that really want to make a splash, that really want to change how people view health, and we need a team to do it. So we are looking to really link arms with conscious humans that want to be partnered into our regenerative health community. And if you want to learn more about our community, what we stand for, kind of the way we represent ourselves, we have an amazing website at www.regenerateyourhealth.com. And you can learn about the protocols, the quality of the superfoods. There's an educational tab that talks about glyphosate and soil health, and oodles of health videos that I have done there as well to really support people to thrive. So with that said, I want to kind of turn it back over, Dr. Vincent, if you want to add anything, if you want Carrie to share anything else before we close out.
Yeah, Carrie, thank you for sharing. That was incredible. Yeah, Carrie, would you like to share a little bit before we go, just kind of a little bit about your story and how you got started?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Vincent and Carrie, for sharing. And thank you, Carrie, for even sharing this whole platform with me. And that was a few years ago. Carrie brought it up to me, and I actually was like, oh no, it's one of those things. Like, so for 5 months, I didn't want anything to do with it because I just assumed it was a scam or like products that I didn't align with because I was very picky. So I'm a regenerative detox specialist as well. And before that, I was a massage therapist for 20 years. So I was doing both. I knew I was here to really help people beyond just massage. And people would tell me about all their symptoms. And I was like, there's got to be another way to help people. Like, this isn't normal to have all these things. And I struggled with my health in my 20s and early 30s. And I felt like I was 80 and 90 in my 30s. I had a hard time getting out of bed, and I knew there was another way. And that's when I found regenerative health and was able to get out of suffering and thought, oh my gosh, okay, this is it. I'm going to help people in this way. And when Carrie was sharing with me all of her symptoms and all her story, I just really was like, I want to help her. Like, I want to figure out a solution. Like, massage isn't going to cure it. And so that's what got me into regenerative health. Like, I could only help someone so much. And when I saw the difference in her, I was like, how can we make this common knowledge? I mean, after I learned about the food stuff, I was growing my own as much as I can, but living in Minnesota, I only have a short growing season. And just talking about the quality of food, I actually went to my co-op the other day and got organic strawberries, and they don't have any flavor. Like, they taste not good. I don't know if anyone's had that issue. Sometimes they're amazing and sometimes they're just like awful. And so we are having an issue with food quality and how it's grown, because just it's all about the soil health is what we're learning. So Dr. Zach Bush does a great job explaining it and going into detail. And also there's another documentary called I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but it's a really good documentary talking about the soil health. Carrie, if you want to put it in the
Kiss
chat.
the ground.
Kiss the ground. Yeah. Kiss the Ground is a good documentary to watch if you're wanting to learn more about that. But when I started working with clients, they really had a hard time sticking with protocol. So when Carrie was like, this can really help people, that's what led me into being like, okay, well, if it can help people, then I'll take a look at it. And then I tried it and I was like, well, this tastes amazing. It's not chalky. It's like real. And so then I started sharing it with friends and family, and I couldn't believe how many people loved it. And I was getting great feedback, and they were saying they could stick to protocols longer. And then, I'm able to bring it in my family. They're able to bring this in. And I noticed a difference with my daughter and my husband, and my son is like raised on these. So, and he asked for a green smoothie every day. And so anyhow, I brought it in, and I quickly realized this is a way to help more people. And I got paid more than I did working with clients one-on-one in my first month. So I thought I should really take this seriously. Like, this is actually, it's nice to have a platform like this and to work in collaboration. So I'm not just trading hours for dollars. And then I just took it really seriously and started coming to the training calls. There's amazing business training in here and mentorship that you get included in working in collaboration. And so I just kind of plugged into the system and was able to just last year let go of working at a wellness center and now doing this full time. And so it's been able to bless my family physically and financially. And now I don't have to trade time for money. So like I was just sharing with a friend, she's like, oh, do you do massage anymore? I'm like, not because I have to, but if I want to. So I don't have to do it, but if I choose to do it. So I've been able to like say no to people that, don't have the energy that I want to be around, or, it feels good to have that option to be like, I don't need it, but, and so I can do it because I want to. And that just feels really good to have that freedom and flexibility. And now wanting to partner with people like Dr. Vincent and just share this information with more people. So people know there's other ways of supporting, whether they're friends and family or community, to really get this to be common knowledge. And we're merging our regenerative health background with these regeneratively grown foods and really seeing amazing results with people. And I can just share a quick story. A friend of mine did it to support her husband. And she was like, I don't really need to do it, but I'll do it to support him. Ended up getting off her anxiety medication, seeing a huge difference in digestion and energy, and feeling completely different in her body. Shared it with her sisters. They got off all their medications, shared it with her dad, and he lost 70 pounds within 6 months and is off all his medications. And I never met him one time. So I saw the power of, if we need more people to share this information, and that's how it can spread. And we can just reach more people that are really looking for answers. Now people are referring people all the time because they know what we're doing really works. And it's just nice to do it in community and not have to do it by ourselves. So thank you, Carrie and Dr. Vincent, for hosting this, and I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, Carrie, listen, thanks for sharing. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, as you can see, like, just partnering with people who really care and understand just the importance of regeneration, how the body can truly heal when you give it the right fuel, where it comes from the right places. And ultimately, that's what this mission is really about at the end of the day. So like, if this resonates with you to some degree, like if you want to try, if this resonates with you, if this is something that you really want to get into and, really start sharing with other people, if this is something you're really passionate about, like Carrie said, even if you don't have any background in health and wellness, like this is something you can really get into if you're passionate about it. And if it's something you want to try personally, that's absolutely something you can do too. So, if you're interested in it, if, a loved one or a friend, might benefit from this, feel free to share this with them, reach out to me, reach out to, Carrie or Carrie on this call. And, there's really a huge high quality support system too. That's one thing I'll speak to kind of before we go is, if it's something you want to get involved with, like you can get, the support and help you need to get the ball rolling every step of the way. And for me, for someone who does run a practice that's busy, having someone that I can reach out to from time to time to get questions that I can't look up answered, it really goes a long way. And just to close with that, this is what it's like when you do things the right way, and when you share it and start living it, you could become a light for other people. So that's what I want to leave with. Again, if you want to reach out, feel free to. If you want to get started, feel free to reach out to any of us, and we could get you involved in either the business side, or if you want to get involved to just try what we're using in our practice and really experience it yourself, we can help you with that. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Yes, thank you so much.